Okay, I'm back, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you some data that one of my sections took, and then you're going to use that data to complete the lab. Okay, so we're going down to that data table that has the first column says wavelength in lambda, the second column says Doppler shift delta lambda, the third column says redshift z, and then there's another set of boxes that says galaxy ID, distance, average redshift, average recessional speed. Okay, so here's what I want you to do. So in the very first box, okay, the very first set of data, for violet, you're going to put 19.5 for the Doppler shift delta lambda. For indigo, underneath it, you're going to write 20.5 for your Doppler shift. For green, you're going to put 23 for your Doppler shift. For red, you're going to put NA. Okay, now this is going to correspond to galaxy ID 10, and the distance is going to be 878. Okay, now we're going to go down to the next set of boxes. The violet is going to be 3 for the Doppler shift. The indigo is going to be 3. The green is going to be 3.5. And the red is going to be 4.5. Okay, the galaxy ID is going to be 8, and the distance is going to be 145. Okay, now we're ready to go to the next set of boxes. The violet is going to be 8.5. The indigo is going to be 9. The green is going to be 10. And the red is going to be 13. The galaxy ID is going to be 2, and the distance is going to be 424. Okay, now we're ready to go down to the fourth set of boxes. The violet is going to be 23. The indigo is going to be 24.5. The green is going to be 27. And the red is going to be NA for not applicable. Okay, the galaxy ID is going to be 1. This was incidentally the one that we tried to do. And the distance is going to be 1111. 1111. Do not put any letters in those boxes. You can only have numbers, because only the numbers can be graphed. So if you don't want to put any units or anything on those numbers, they just need to be plain old numbers. So now what are we going to do with these numbers now that we've got it? So that was the data that another group took when they did the lab. So now we need to fill in the column that says redshift z. The redshift z is going to be the change in the wavelength divided by the original wavelength. So let's go all the way to the top to the first set of boxes. For violet, it said that its Doppler shift was 19.5. So you're going to take the Doppler shift, which is 19.5 divided by 410.17, because that's the original wavelength of violet. See, next to the word violet, you see it says 410.17. So you're going to take the 19.5 divided by 410.17, and then that turns out to be 0.0475. So you're going to put that number where it says red shift Z. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and give you the numbers for the other numbers for that first box. Okay, so in that last column where it says redshift Z, for violet it should have been 0.0475. For indigo it should have been 0.0472. For green it turns out to be 0.0473. And then for red, you put NA because you didn't have a Doppler shift for red. Okay, now you should have both of those columns filled in for that very first box. Okay, now go over to the box that's next to it. We've got the galaxy ID, that's 10. We've got the distance, 878. So the next thing is to find the average redshift, Z. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my three redshifts, 0.0475 plus 0.0472 plus 0.0473. So I'm going to add those three together and then divide by 3 in order to find the average. And so that turns out to be, now you're going to put this in the box where it says average redshift Z 0.0473, because that's the average of those three numbers. Okay, now we need to find the average speed V. So the average speed V, if you go back up into the concept introduction, they give you a formula for it. Okay, and so you're going to take the redshift Z, that average redshift Z, and multiply it by 300,000. 300,000. So if you take 0.0473, the average redshift, and you multiply it by 300,000, you get 14,200. Okay, so you have now completed all the boxes for galaxy number 10. Okay, now you're going to need to do it for galaxy number 8 and galaxy 2 and galaxy 1. So just so that you are on the right track, I'm going to give you the average recessional speeds that you should get. So when you do this, so for galaxy ID 8, you should end up with an average recessional speed of 2,107. For galaxy ID 2, you should be ending up with an average recessional speed of 6,135. And then for galaxy number 1, you should be ending up with an average recessional speed of 16,800. So I need for you to fill in all of those remaining boxes. And it might take you a while to do that. And then you should end up with those average recessional speeds. Okay, so I'm going to stop the video here, and then I'm going to tell you what to do with that data once you've collected it.